Hi guys, we're now going to talk about the traditional way that someone tries to identify what they're good at. So the common way that people go about identifying what they're good at. And it goes something along the lines of this. They work out what it is that they want to do. So that's their what. I want to be a teacher, I want to be a calligrapher, I want to be an astronaut, I want to work with animals, I want to work with kids. So the what. The next step in the circle is the how. How do I want to become the astronaut, the teacher, the calligrapher, the artist? Well, I might have to go to university, I might have to go and do an internship, I might have to go and speak to some experts and find out what they're doing. So that's the how, the vehicle of how you're going to get to your what. Then the last circle, very small, and that is the why. And that's not even sometimes considered. But if it is considered, we're talking about why do you want to be the astronaut, the physicist, the pharmacist, the TV reporter, the filmmaker? And most of the time it's because, I like working with animals, or I like working with kids, or, I just want a steady job. Usually the reason why we choose being a doctor, the lawyer, the physicist, the pharmacist, the filmmaker is because of outside forces, because we know we have status. We might have prestige with that particular profession. We might have great holidays, might be great money, might be great part-time work, so flexible working hours, whatever it is, but it's something outside of us. It's not something that we are driven by. I mean, these are all great: money, prestige, status, holidays, flexibility of being working. They're great, but they don't outlast motivation. You can only have so much prestige and status and money and being flexible and lots of holidays until you kind of think there's got to be more meaning. Which is exactly why people think, do I have to go to work today? Because in the beginning you're pretty excited, or somewhat excited, but towards the middle of your work, the end of the cycle of where you're going to be working at, you kind of get over it. And the reason you're getting over it is because there is no why. You're doing it because of outside things. And as long as you look outside of yourself for answers, you're always going to be dissatisfied. Does that make sense? So let me give you an indication of how we are going to be doing it in the mentoring program. Say this is your what. We're going to look at it this way. I want to be the astronomer, the speaker, the presenter, the reporter, the filmmaker, whatever it is, the what. The next thing that we're going to be looking at is the why. Why do I want to be the filmmaker, the astronaut, the physicist, the pharmacist, the teacher, the artist? Why do I want to work with animals? Why do I want to work with kids? Why do I want to work with adults? Why do I want to work in the personal development field? Why do I want to choose coaching? Why do I want to work in finance? This is the most important circle that there is. And the reason for that is because this is your internal motivation. You do know what you want to do, but as long as you've got a strong enough why internally, you'll always have meaning to reach that what. So let me give you an example. We talked about Colonel Sanders in the first or second video, and we spoke about how Colonel Sanders lost his business at the age of 66 and became dependent upon welfare benefits. So what he decided to do was he decided to go and find someone to buy his fried chicken recipe. So after 1,009 people, someone said yes. Do you think Colonel Sanders went about it using this model or that model? He would have had to have a very strong why after the 100th person to go to the next one. After the 200th person to go to the next 300th person. To go to the 400th, 500th, till it was 1,900. How many people would have quit after 100 people said no? 200, 300, 700 people said no. But he persevered till he got to his goal, his aim, his what. And the only reason why he persevered is because he had this. His why was larger, strong enough to get him to seek and to realize his what. So do you think he went through that model or this model? Now the other part of this equation is also looking at the how. So how are you going to go about doing that? So with Colonel Sanders' example from yesterday, his what was he wanted to sell his fried chicken recipe. He didn't want to be on welfare benefits. His why was that he wanted to retire without having to go on welfare benefits. So he asked as many people, and he had strong enough reasons to persevere all the setbacks, all the negativity that was surrounding him. And how did he go about doing that? He kept changing his strategy by looking at his whys until he got to his what. So he didn't just use one way of asking someone, he used many methods, talked to many people from many different backgrounds to ultimately have gotten to his what. But not only did he get to his what, in this journey of getting to his what, he became a more fulfilled person. Because it wasn't something outside of him that was motivating him, it was something inside of him that was propelling him forward. Does that make sense? So the difference between these two models is that one focuses on the outside. This is all about the outside purpose, the what, then it looks at the how you're going to get there, and then why, maybe, if you get to it. You know, most of us at school, you know, what do you want to do? What did I get the marks for? Did I get the marks to go into medicine or to media or to being a teacher? How am I going to go about doing it? Well, usually it's university or some kind of college. And then why? Well, because I want to get a job. That's how most university students, that's how we are conditioned. But imagine if we looked at what do we want to do, not based on marks. Because if you have a strong enough why, you'll get another way of getting to what you want to do. If we start from the what do we want to do? And then make the why even grander. We make the why even grander to support the journey until we get to that. And not only are we supporting that journey for any setbacks or things that life happens along the way, but this is where fulfillment comes in. This is fulfillment. Anybody can become a teacher or a doctor or whatever it is that they want. As long as society gives them the marks or the access or the resources, people can get what they want. This is just a science of getting to something. You know, there's steps involved. But this is all about fulfillment. Because we can all do what we want to do. This is what we leave behind in the world, our why. The journey of how we respond to things, how we react to things, how we make sure that we still change our strategy to get to our goal. It's not from the outside in, it's from the inside out. Does that make sense? So your why is going to be the biggest factor in all of this. If you don't focus on your whys, then the what, you'll get swayed. Something, the next new shiny things that come, you'll be distracted and go to different ways. And that's why you think, I just don't know what I want to do, because there's so much distraction, right? That's where distraction happens. So the number one sequence that I want you to focus on is what we'll be looking at in the mentoring program is what is it that you want? What is it that you want to do? The second thing is why, and the why is bigger, huger. It's massive because it's what's going to prop you up, support you, encourage you, propel you, push you. It's the engine that when you're sagging down, it's the engine that pushes you up. It's when you think you've lost hope, you've lost interest, it's the engine that makes you accelerate. And the how is really a vehicle. How are you going to get there? Are you going to get there in a Rolls Royce? Are you going to get there in a sedan, in a Ford, in a Mazda? No matter what vehicle, how you get there, the destination, you're still going to be getting it, whether you use a Ford or you use a Mercedes. The how will come to you. The how is the least of your worries. As long as you know what it is you want and your why is big enough to support that. Now in the next video, we're going to be talking about what makes up the why. This big circle that we have here, what makes it up? What are the elements that cements it and supports and props you up? I'll see you in the next video.